But what they don't realize is the world and the pages of history have always been dominated by people who are quote-unquote unrealistic when it comes to their expectation. It's always been dominated by people who refuse to settle for what was basically readily available, and was simply dominated by people who say, no, I'm not going to go by what is available to everyone. I'm going to demand, I'm going to make demand as far as life is concerned for something much bigger and much better. And guess what? Ultimately, that's exactly what they get. Because the brain is simply a GPS. It's simply a computer that's looking for a command, that's looking for a direction. The brain is asking on a daily basis, so where are we going? And in this video, my friend, I'm going to share with you how to reset your mindset on a daily basis and remove any type of blocks that may prevent you from accessing the best thing that you so deserve. All right? This is a video you don't want to miss. Dimitri, let's get right into it. If you want 2025 to look exactly how 2024 has looked, then keep on doing the same old things you've been doing so far. As a matter of fact, if you want the rest of your life to look exactly the same as it has looked so far, then this video is not for you. This video is for people who want to see some kind of change, tangible change in their lives in 2025 and beyond. This video is for people who are serious about the concept of transformation and want to move from where they are to now a different place where they can start seeing and touching things that will be completely different, radically different from what they've been experiencing so far. Let's get right into it. Life is made of two different types of crowds. The first crowd, which is basically the majority, it's a crowd of people that are so used to being in the valley that the only focus is now on the low-hanging fruit, the crumbs otherwise. They say to themselves, we have been here so long that this is now the MO for us. It is now the modus operandi. Otherwise, it is now a way of operating life as far as we are concerned. We are not going to bother with anything beyond what we're seeing. Our only focus is on the low-hanging fruits, on the crumbs that are readily accessible to us. Anything else is for somebody else. So they focus solely on what they can see, and that becomes basically their daily reality, or basically the standards by which they live their lives. On the other end, there is a select minority of people that says, I can see where you're coming from. Yes, life can be hard right now. And most people are only going by the crumbs, by the low-hanging fruit, and that's the reality. And I feel it for them. Having said that, as far as I'm concerned, my eyes are still set on the fruits that are hidden from the general population. My eyes are still set on the mountain tops. I may be here right now physically, but my mind is all the way at the top because that's where I belong. And one way or the other, I'm going to find a way to be reconciled with the mountain top that I'm actually focusing on. These people at first come across as delusional because people say, why can't you simply embrace life like the rest of the people around you? The crowd mentality, because we are all here in the same position. Why can't you focus on the same reality that we are all experiencing, as opposed to be thinking about something that seems to be so beyond your reach? And they start looking at this one particular person as a delusional person, because they say everyone is here, everyone is at this particular level. And everyone is being quote unquote realistic. Why is this particular person obsessing so much over something that seems to be beyond our reach? Why is so and so talking so much about things that are not within reach? This person might come down and start living life like the rest of us. But what they don't realize is the world and the pages of history have always been dominated by people who are quote unquote unrealistic when it comes to their expectation. It's always been dominated by people who refuse to settle for what was basically readily available, and was simply dominated by people who say, no, I'm not going to go by what is available to everyone. I'm going to demand. I'm going to make demand as far as life is concerned for something much bigger and much better. And guess what? Ultimately, that's exactly what they get. Because the brain is simply a GPS. It's simply a computer that's looking for a command, that's looking for a direction. The brain is asking on a daily basis, so where are we going? And you keep saying, yes, I want to settle for life in the valley. Then a few people say, no, we are not going to settle for this, but we are going to be shooting for more. And as they do that, something really key happens. And I'm just going to give you just the introduction. It's called ego. But it's not the crazy bad ego that you know. When I say ego, I simply mean a sense of entitlement. A sense of seeing yourself as the elite. A sense of seeing that, yes, I'm entitled to life at the mountaintop. My name is on the title as far as life on the mountaintop is concerned. That's where I belong. And that sense of entitlement, that sense of elite thinking is now going to do something key. It's going to provoke the G, which is what? Grow. It's going to cause you now to grow. Grow what? Grow opportunities. Because the brain is simply going to say, but wait a minute. So-and-so is not seeing themselves at this particular level. So-and-so is seeing themselves at this other particular level. So we have to find a way to grow opportunities for so-and-so to actualize. Before you know it, so-and-so is now moving from life in the valley and now relocating at the mountaintop. And that's how it goes. Just something key I wanted to give you as a foretaste. Let me now give you a story, and after that I'm going to give you the principle on how to activate precisely this mindset that's going to cause this sense of entitlement, this sense of elite to grow opportunities in your life, recalibrate your mindset, and all of a sudden also get rid of any type of blocks, mental blocks that may prevent you from actually accessing life at the mountaintop. 1974, September 1974 in New York City, more precisely at the Waldorf Astoria, was a conference. Most journalists that were part of the sports world were present to listen to what this contender had to say about the upcoming fight in Kinshasa, Zaire. So as they listened to this young man, the old man at the time, he was already 32 years old, and by that time he was considered too old for the fight. They were just being polite, and they were just trying to be entertained before boarding the flight to go to Kinshasa, Zaire, a place they have never been to before. But they had no faith in whatever this young man, this old man was saying, because against this man was standing a young man who was at the time 25 years old, and was coming into the fight not only with the crown on his head, but also with a very impressive resume. The resume spoke for itself. 40, so 40 wins as far as his career was concerned. From 1969, when he turned pro, until 1973 or 74, about 5 years. So 5 years as a professional. This young man had amassed 40 wins. And out of the 40 wins, 37 knockouts. And out of the knockout, it was one particular knockout that had this more prestigious feel to it. What was it? It was the fight that took place in Kingston, Jamaica, between George Foreman and the champion at the time, Joe Frazier, Smoking Joe. Everyone was expecting Joe Frazier to go to Kingston, Jamaica and retain the crown and simply defeat this big giant by the name of George Foreman. But when they got there, they were in for a big surprise because not once, not twice, not thrice, but 6 times this young contender had sent the champion to the canvas to the point where the first time it happened, even our counsel simply was so shocked. He let out, he says, down goes Fraser, down goes Fraser, because it was so unexpected and so embarrassing for the champion. Because everyone was rooting for him. It was basically like seeing the whole army of America now being defeated by a small army that was not supposed to be taking the victory home. And that's basically the upset that took place when they went to Jamaica. Not only that, there was also another victory against another gentleman named of Ken Norton. Ken Norton is precisely that one gentleman that had challenged Muhammad Ali in a quite humiliating manner, because after the fight, Muhammad Ali had to get into the car and run and go straight to the hospital because his jaw had been broken by Ken Norton, and that's how embarrassing it was. Joe Frazier denied Muhammad Ali a welcome back victory and welcome back party when he came back to the world of boxing in 1971. Joe Frazier was the champion. Ken Norton is the man that basically made life miserable for Muhammad Ali. But these two gentlemen had been defeated at the end of George Foreman. So going to Kinshasa, everyone in the press was simply saying it's going to be another victory for George Foreman. But as this is happening, Muhammad Ali started now talking about life at the top, at the mountaintop. He says, yes, you used to see me now for the past few years at this particular level. But I want to tell you that my life is not here. My life is at the mountaintop. I see myself at the mountaintop, number one. Number two, I can taste life at the mountaintop again. Number two. Number three, I can touch that belt, that championship belt, and life at the mountaintop. That was number three. Number four, it says I can also smell the fresh air at the mountaintop. And that was basically how he spoke to the people. And so when they went to Kinshasa, even the entourage of Muhammad Ali, they decided to play along just to encourage the gentleman. But Muhammad Ali, the contender, simply said, no, I'm going to develop this ego, this entitlement, this sense of elite within myself and believe that, yes, I belong there. Number one, I'm going to develop an oversized faith in myself. I'm not going to depend on the faith of my supporting tribe. I'm not going to depend on the faith of the people around me. I'm going to have to develop and depend on my own faith. And why is it so important? Because the night of the fight, as they were gathering in the change room, Muhammad Ali noticed something peculiar. All the people that were part of his entourage, they looked quite sad. So Muhammad Ali at one point says, I will hate to compartmentalize and ignore what is happening, but could you please tell me why all of you guys are looking so down? And one of them decided to open their mouth and speak and says, we love you, Ali. We believe in you. We've seen how you came back from the exile and try your very best to get back to the top again. But now you're 32 years old. And compared to this young man who was 25 years old, there is no way you're going to actually be able to pull the impossible. We can see that you're going to lose, and that's why we're feeling so bad, because you are a good guy and you don't deserve to go out like this. Rather than Muhammad Ali simply say, I have now to activate the ego, sense of elite, entitlement, life at the top. I'm going now to let this entitlement grow the opportunities I need to create as far as this fight is concerned. And simply say, yes, it's okay, let's go, and you see what's going to happen. They went, and at one point during the fight, as George Foreman had run out of steam, Muhammad now went on to activate the fifth key, because the first key was, it was speaking about life at the top. The second key was actually smelling life at the top. The third key was actually testing, oh my goodness, life at the top again. And the fourth thing, it was actually touching the belt. But at one point, when he was in Kinshasa, he started developing the fifth key. He went to the local and he asked them, how do you say Muhammad Ali killed him in your local language, in Lingala? They said to him, simply goes, Ali Bomaye, Ali Bomaye. And at one point in the days leading to the fact, he kept telling his entourage, can you picture 500,000 people chanting that song? Can you picture that? Can you picture that? Nobody was paying attention. But at one point in the fight, it turned out to the crowd and simply says, Ali Bomaye. And people heard the song, and that song now started reverberating all around the stadium. And before that, the whole stadium was now chanting, Ali Bomaye. And guess what? Within a few minutes, Muhammad was now able to conclude and close the fight in a commanding manner. And for the first time, George Foreman was now the one on the floor. And down went George Foreman. And after that, he went and spoke to his people. Why didn't I actually use the example of Muhammad Ali? Because as far as resetting your mindset on a daily basis is concerned, and as far as getting rid of any mental block that may be preventing you from seeing yourself as eligible for life at the top, you have to be aware of the 5 keys that you have to consider. Number 1, you have to speak about it. The more you speak about it, the more conviction is going to start now permeating every single word that be coming out of your mouth. Speak of yourself as someone belonging at the top. Number 1, test it. Use the imagination to simply test that particular thing that you're so looking forward as far as life at the top is concerned. Touch it. Whatever you're trying to achieve as far as success is concerned, you have to be able to touch it as far as the ends of your mind are concerned. That's number 3. Number 4, you have to come to a point where also, and you have to smell it. And last but not least, you have to come to a place now where you have to hear it. You have to come to a place where you have to develop the ability to hear now the words you're going to hear. Once you come to that place where everything has been actualized, the more you do that, my friend, on a daily basis for at least 60 days, in the morning before you actually go to work, at night before you go to bed, what's going to happen is you're simply now going to give your brain a direction, and those directions are now going to cause the brain to do something key. Ego, to simply create a sense of entitlement. They will simply say so-and-so is entitled for life at the top, and so-and-so has now to grow opportunities to now self-actualize. And before you know it, my friend, your life will be in a totally, radically different place. All right? If you want to see something different as far as 2025 is concerned, my friend, then you have to simply start making a few changes as far as how you deal with yourself on a daily basis. No need to go break the bank or do anything crazy. Right where you are, you can apply the same technique. Again, you have to see it. You have to see that victory. You have to smell it. You have to taste it. You have to touch it. And last but not least, you have to hear it. And the more you do that, my friend, on a daily basis, that's how you're going out to cause your brain to recalibrate itself and put you in a different mindset. And that mindset is simply going to override anything that may be standing in your way as far as mental blocks are concerned. Again, one more time, you have to see it, you have to smell it, you have to taste it, you have to hear it, and you have to touch it in your mind. The more you exercise this mental faculty known as imagination, the more you visualize yourself at a precise place, my friend, that's how you're going to reverse everything and bring yourself to where you so belong, the mountaintop.